Greetings, Lady Shepsa Jones from Let Go, Let Goddess, Sacred Sexuality Healer, Coach, and Author, coming to bring you my Goddess Love Letter for this week. Goddess, I love you and I want you to slay your fears, okay? I want you to slay your fears in 2022. So I'm going to actually give you 3 tips to help you to slay your fears this year so that you can live your wildest, most awesomest, bestest life this year. All right. So tip number 1, fear is your friend. Fear is your friend. And I know that may sound very strange. A lot of us see fear as our enemy and as the major thing that's holding us back from making moves and maybe changing career or changing a city or starting a business, right? Our fear will often hold us back from doing those things that we actually really, really want to do deep down inside. So the reason why I say fear is your friend is because I believe in something called emotional intelligence. Every emotion that we experience is there for a reason. We're designed to feel these different emotions. So the emotion of fear basically comes up when our body, our mind perceives that something is a threat. When we feel like we are unsafe, we will feel afraid. So that fear, that chemical release in our body is a signal, oh no, we're about to do something or experience something that basically might kill us, right? That deep primal instinct is to survive. So our fear is basically trying to keep us from dying. Now, you may think, of course, changing my job or moving to another city or, trying to create a relationship is not something that is a threat to my survival. However, deep down in our subconscious, perhaps because of past experiences or past traumas, our mind, our ego feels like this is something that is unsafe. So it's trying to keep us small and trying to hold us back so basically we don't experience a negative outcome or a consequence from this action. So fear really is our friend because it really is just really trying to keep us safe. So one thing that you can do is basically talk to your fear. Validate it, because sometimes we want to ignore it, we want to repress it, we want to push it down. So you can say, fear, I know you are trying to keep me safe. I give you permission to release and to let go. I am safe. I am protected. All is well. All right, you can have that conversation with your fear and let your fear know you can relax. It's okay. We're just exploring new and uncharted territory. And I know you're trying to keep me safe, but we're going to be okay. And you can also get support to help you to increase feelings of safety. So that might look like friends or accountability partners that are going to help you, usher in this change that you're trying to pursue. Create safety for yourself, which can look like so many different things, but create that safety so that you will feel even more confident in moving forward despite the fears that have come up. Okay. And reason number 2, or way number 2 that I want you to slay your fear is that I want you to expand beyond the fear. So when we experience fear, most likely we experience a contraction in our body, right? Literally, our nervous system may kick into fight or flight or even freeze, and we will literally get small because we're trying to hide, we're trying to protect ourselves. So fear brings the energy of contraction in our body. All right. So to help to release that, one thing that you can do is when you begin to feel those feelings, sometimes we feel uneasy or afraid. We may not even have the words to understand why we're feeling this way because it may be buried so deep in our subconscious from a past trauma. So what we can do is actually drop down into our body and drop down into wherever we feel that contraction. Maybe it's in our belly, maybe it's in our chest, maybe it's in our lower back. Maybe we just feel a lot of tension in our head. So what you can do is just drop down into your breath and breathe in into that area of contraction and give it permission to let go. All right. And you may start by just taking very slow, deep belly breaths going in and out. And just do that until you begin to feel relaxed, until you can trigger your parasympathetic nervous system, which will allow you to go into rest and digest, which will allow healing to happen. All right. So this is why in all my coaching programs, we always meditate. Okay. We do meditation basically every time that we meet, we meditating so that we can get deep into our nervous system and release those tensions and release those blockages and allow that contraction to be able to expand with the breath. And sometimes what happens with that is that we'll begin to feel things because when we're contracting, a lot of times, once again, that fear, we're trying to protect ourselves and we're not actually feeling. So sometimes taking those deep belly breaths, it may actually bring up lots of emotion. And that's okay because these things are coming up because they need to be cleared. So allow yourself to breathe deeply. Even throughout the day, pay attention to how you're breathing. This is something that I do. Sometimes I realize I'm just walking around and I'm holding my breath. And I'm like, why am I holding my breath? Because there's some type of, response that my body is used to doing, is used to holding the breath because of some type of, tension or fear or whatever. So give permission for your nervous system to relax and let go of that contraction. Okay. And the third way I want you to slay your fear is to get more excited about the possibility of success than scared of failure, because that's a big issue for a lot of us. We don't act on our dreams and our desires and what we want to create for our life because we're scared of failing. And this is something in particular that holds women back because we really take it really personal when we fail. Okay, so get excited about the possibility. So this means that you need to actually sit down and create a vision of what success will look like for you, or what this change that your fear is trying to hold you back from, what will that look like? What will it look like when you have started your business and it's thriving and it's a success? What will it look like when you have decided to change your wardrobe or your hair and you're feeling and looking fabulous? Okay, what will it look like when you are in a healthy, committed relationship, and how would that feel? All right, so get excited about the possibility of success. And I want to share just a couple of situations that I confronted that really brought up huge fears in me. So one of them is leaving my full-time teaching job. So if you don't know, I used to be a full-time teacher for like 9 years, full-time public school teacher, okay, teaching middle school. And yes, it was the Lord's work because middle school is not easy. But, I did overall enjoy it. However, I knew that I was meant to do something else. I was meant to do this work. I was meant to coach and to teach. So I had told my boss that I wanted to basically transition out of full-time, and go part-time. And I wound up not even going part-time at that job. But anyway, that I wanted to resign. So in order for me to leave my job, I had to resign from teaching, just period. And that meant no more healthcare. That meant, not having that safety net of that good old secure teaching job. And I was petrified. Like I was just scared that, oh my God, I'm gonna be like homeless on the street. Because when we're afraid, our mind, our ego will throw up the worst case scenario. It will just tell us that the worst possible thing is going to happen. And it'll show those images to us because, once again, trying to keep us safe. So, I went through that. I was petrified, but I knew that a greater vision was calling me. And I thought, what if I do stay here, right? And I missed out on this vision that I see myself, having, this life that I see myself living, where I am independent, where I wake up when I want to. Of course I gotta get up. I have a son. I gotta wake him up and get him ready for school. But still, I have more control over my schedule. If I want to take a bath on a Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m., I can do that. If I want to travel, on a work day or something, I can do that. So I wanted the freedom. And that call to freedom was more inspiring to me than that fear of failure. And I said, well, at least I can give this a try. And I'm so happy that I did. All right. So these are my 3 tips for you in this Goddess Love Letter for this week. Goddess, I love you. And I want you to slay your fear through number 1, realizing that fear is your friend. Number 2, expanding beyond the fear, using your breath, dropping down into your body. And number 3, getting more excited about the possibility of success than the fear of failure. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you also want some support in living a life that is fearless and free, I invite you to check out my Badass Goddess on Fire coaching program, which is all about living your Badass Goddess best life, becoming fearless, becoming unafraid, and actually releasing those blockages that keep us playing small so that we can create a life that we love, deeply connected to our feminine energy. All right, which for me means that we live in a life of bliss, and ease, not struggle, hustle, and grinding. All right, so if you're interested in that, check out the link that'll be somewhere around this video, depending upon where you are seeing it. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.